Has someone lied to your face today? You probably missed it. Most people are completely blind to the silent signals of deception happening right in front of them. Forget the old myth that liars always look away. A skilled manipulator knows exactly how to fake confidence. Instead, you need to watch for unconscious psychological leaks. The first hidden sign is unnatural eye behavior. A deceptive person will often force intense, unblinking eye contact to prove they are telling you the absolute truth. Imagine a coworker denying a mistake. Instead of normal, relaxed glances, they lock their eyes onto yours like a predator. This overcompensation is a massive red flag. Listen closely for pronoun drops or third-person phrasing. Instead of using direct statements with I, they might vaguely claim that person is not responsible. Deceivers also tend to over-explain simple answers to sound more convincing. They build elaborate stories filled with unnecessary details just to cover their tracks. This brings us to the third sign, which flashes right across their face. Microexpressions are tiny muscle movements that escape before the conscious brain catches them. Let us look at the classic fake smile. When a liar smiles, the emotion is entirely confined to the lower half of their face. A genuine smile naturally crinkles the corners of the eyes. A fabricated smile leaves the eyes completely flat and lifeless, sometimes even appearing slightly asymmetrical. Now that you know the signs, how do you actively expose a liar? You must use a powerful psychological tactic called the cognitive load technique. Liars memorize their fake stories in perfect chronological order. If you suspect deception, simply ask them to recount the events backwards and watch them struggle. Truth tellers rely on actual memories, which flow naturally in absolutely any direction. Liars, however, are strictly reading from a rigid, chronologically ordered mental script. When you force a liar off their rehearsed script, their working memory runs out of processing power. You will instantly witness a complete cognitive system crash. During this mental overload, watch for sudden verbal hesitation. They will use excessive filler words and completely abandon their previously forced artificial eye contact.
You do not need to sound like a police interrogator.
Just ask casually about a random detail entirely out of order and wait for the glitch.
Before you start accusing friends of lying, you must understand their baseline behavior. A baseline is simply how someone acts when they are completely relaxed and honest. So, any plans for the weekend?
Just relaxing at home. You?
Same here. Coffee order, by the way.
Black, 1 sugar. And you?
Latte. Good to know.
Never rely on a single sign to declare someone a liar. Professional interrogators always look for clusters, which means spotting 3 or more deceptive behaviors happening together.
Remember that context is incredibly important when analyzing behavior. Sometimes people avoid eye contact or act jittery simply because they drank too much coffee or feel anxious.
Always consider the environment before making an accusation. A freezing room or an intimidating boss can trigger physical responses that perfectly mimic deception. If you want to test your read, try using the power of absolute silence. When someone finishes answering your question, simply maintain eye contact and say nothing. An honest person will comfortably wait for your next words. A liar hates the silence and will immediately start talking again to fill the void and justify their story. Another hidden cue is physical asynchrony. Pay close attention if their bodily gestures completely contradict the actual words coming out of their mouth. When the brain lies, it experiences a spike in stress. This triggers unconscious pacifying behaviors, like rubbing the neck, touching the face, or adjusting a collar. Touching the suprasternal notch at the base of the neck is a primal defense mechanism. Liars instinctively cover their most vulnerable areas when they feel threatened by a question. Truthful people just want to convey the facts. Liars, on the other hand, are desperate to convince you that they are telling the absolute truth. Because they want to convince you, liars often pack their stories with unnecessary and trivial details. They mistakenly believe that a highly detailed story sounds much more credible. Truthful people answer questions directly. Liars often repeat your question back to you or ask a clarifying question just to buy themselves extra time to fabricate.
If you press them for details, they might suddenly become aggressively defensive. They will attempt to turn the tables and make you feel guilty for even asking.
Watch their hands carefully during the conversation. Deceptive individuals unconsciously place physical barriers like coffee cups or laptops between themselves and their accuser to feel safe.
Even if their upper body appears totally relaxed, their lower body reveals their true intentions. Their feet will frequently point directly towards the nearest exit.
Let us quickly recap the 3 hidden signs you must watch out for. Always look for forced eye contact, verbal distancing, and those fleeting micro-expressions. Remember that spotting a liar requires looking at the entire picture. You must combine these behavioral cues with a solid understanding of their normal baseline. Never ignore your gut instinct during a suspicious conversation. Your subconscious mind often detects these subtle red flags long before your conscious brain can process them.
Master these techniques, and you will never be easily fooled again. Subscribe to the channel right now for more powerful strategies on mastering silent communication.